Are you struggling to use the debugger in your Xamarin Android project? You're not alone. Today, we're diving into a common issue that many developers face after upgrading their Visual Studio. I totally get how frustrating it can be when everything seems to be working fine, but then you hit a wall with an error message. It can feel like you're stuck in quicksand, right? You're definitely not the only one dealing with this. Here's the situation. A user recently upgraded their Visual Studio to version 15.2 and their Xamarin.Android SDK to version 7.3.1.2. After the upgrade, they found that they couldn't use the debugger anymore. The project builds and deploys successfully, but they encounter an error that says, "Could not load file or assembly Mono.Posix." Sound familiar? Let's explore this together. So what does this error mean? The system.io.FileNotFoundException typically indicates that a required file or assembly is missing. In this case, it seems like the Mono.Posix assembly is not being found, which can happen after an upgrade due to changes in paths or configurations. And stick around. I have a crucial tip at the end that can help prevent this issue from happening again in the future. To begin resolving the issue with the debugger, the user should first ensure that the Mono.Posix assembly is correctly referenced in their project. This can be done by checking the project references in Visual Studio. Next, the user should verify that the Xamarin Android SDK is properly installed and updated. This ensures that all necessary components are available for debugging. After confirming the SDK installation, the user should clean and rebuild the project. This step helps to clear any cached files that might be causing the issue. Finally, if the problem persists, the user should consider reinstalling the Mono.Posix assembly. This can be done through the NuGet package manager in Visual Studio. Fun fact, did you know that the Mono framework was originally created to allow developers to build cross-platform applications using .NET? It's a powerful tool, but sometimes it can throw us a curveball. Now let's look at the answers provided by other users. An alternative solution shared by another user involves a few key steps. First, disable the Use Shared Runtime option in your Android project. Next, delete the app from the emulator and also remove the Mono runtime. After that, perform a clean, rebuild, and deploy your project without debugging. Finally, start a debug session. Once everything is working, you can re-enable the Use Shared Runtime option. Human, let's check out another perspective from a different user. One user shared their experience with this issue, noting it affected two different PCs. Initially, they thought it was linked to Visual Studio upgrades, but the problem persisted even after upgrading without updating Visual Studio. Their solution is to revert back to version 23.3.0, avoiding version 25.3.1 altogether. Additionally, the user mentioned trying a solution from another contributor, but unfortunately, it did not resolve their issue. Human, let's check out another perspective from a different user. An alternative solution provided by another user involves downloading the missing Mono.Posix file. First, unzip the file and check its properties to ensure it has a valid Xamarin Inc. signature. If there's an unblocked checkbox, enable it. Then, copy the Mono.Posix.dll file to the appropriate Xamarin extension directory for your version of Visual Studio. Finally, restart Visual Studio to apply the changes. Here's that crucial tip I promised. Always keep your SDKs and tools updated, and regularly check your project references after upgrades. This simple habit can save you a lot of headaches down the road. And there you have it. With these steps, you should be able to get your debugger working again. Remember, keeping your tools updated and checking your references can make all the difference. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe for more tips and tricks.